Hello, and so it's Thursday. Another week is just whizzing by. 10th of November. Top of the whatever time it is for you. It's morning here. Cheers. So yes, right after I uploaded yesterday's video came the news from Brazil that the great gal Costa had passed away. I've only got a couple things by her, but I'll tell you what. I love Brazilian music. Gal Costa was one of the singers that I love, besides Rita Lee and Maria Bethânia. Just a bunch of others. This is one of her albums that I have, a reissue of India, with the very eye-catching cover. She was 77, according to the news, when she passed away a day or two ago. The woman's voice is very distinct. She was a songbird. She had a wonderful quality to her voice, very sing-song, but also very expressive, where she literally could pull light and dark out of the timbres and tones that she would switch. Wonderful singer. I just have two of her solo albums. I have another one. I can't locate it right now, but it's like a Tropicalia album. But I also have this one, Bem Bom, from the 80s, when she was... Love that picture of her. You can just see what a force of a human she was. I like this album a lot because it plays with commercial tendencies in the arrangements. She also does a couple of rock songs on here. Again, trying to cross over or whatever, try to appeal to a younger audience. But it all works. So good. This is a very good album. Rest in peace, gal. Never got to see her live. Wish I could have. Yes, I noted that Dan McCafferty of Nazareth passed away as well. I only have a single by them, and it's by default when I bought a bunch of promos at one time. And there was a single by them in there. But Nazareth is an example of the type of rock band and sound that doesn't do a lot for me personally. I'm not drawn to it. It's like this kind of a working man's meat and potatoes type of sound. And it definitely has its place. And I'll give Nazareth this and Dan McCafferty this. You always knew it was Nazareth when he opened his mouth. Very distinct voice, very memorable. And from the stories that I hear and have read about Nazareth, he was a really decent cat. That always counts for a whole lot in my book, when people are decent people. Yeah. Speaking of, I just watched this documentary that just came online about the Rainbow Bar and Grill out in L.A. on Sunset Strip. Never been in it, but I've just driven past it a couple times. You know, always wanted to visit it. But Mario, the guy who started the place, I love his stories and I love his grit. And he talks about how he got along with everybody except for Charles Manson. And he was real upfront about how weird Manson was, and that's kind of where I'm at, which is, you know, that's where I draw the line. You know, I try to be accepting of people. But when you're just downright nuts and full of evil, I'm not having it. And Mario really stated that plainly about his one encounter with Manson at the Rainbow. I love it. It's a good documentary. A real good documentary. Other stuff sitting out that got played yesterday because I did spend another day working on the music. And I will answer a question actually. Someone asked, I had pulled it up. I do want to answer this question. I'll answer a couple actually now that I'm doing this from the last couple of days. But the last album that I played almost all the way through was Mummer by XTC. Thinking of the single Great Fire. Man, these guys just they still don't get their due. I think that the XTC songwriting was on the level of the Beatles. It's just my opinion. I think Andy Partridge and Colin Moulding, their pop craftsmanship is on the same level as the Beatles. Yeah, I said it again. I really think that. And they have not received their due. Partially because they're not from London or some big swinging town. They're from Swindon. The world is so strange like that. So, yes, I mentioned Dan McCafferty, and now you know what I think about him. You know, it's really, you don't have to ask me like questions like, do you like anything like by the Brothers Johnson? I think I'm making it clear. I make it clear, and if you go back and look at my videos, I've been making videos I got thousands of videos up talking about music. It's pretty clear that I like good music, recognize good music, and will give credit where credit is due even when I don't like it. Okay? That I can do. I can give credit where credit's due when I don't like the music. I don't like everything. So, going back here, a question about me and my music. Thank you. Kyle Mize, or whatever how you say it. Thank you for buying my music. You talk about that you can't wait to hear the new album. You've been spinning future still in myths. And you ask here, well, here's what you said. I appreciate this. I want to share it. You said when you do stuff, you try to do it your own way and not to sound like anybody else, and I have to say that that's very true. Nobody comes to mind when I listen to your work. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. So I wanted to ask, where do you take inspiration from to make music, and has it changed over time, and how? Would love to know what drives you to make music the way you create it. Hope you're having a good one. Much love, Dorian. Thank you for the questions, and I will answer. So to go back, I come from a musical family and have been making music all my life, but also a very big part of my identity is as a music fan, a music lover. And so consequently, as coming up as a kid, I wasn't so interested in learning the mechanics of music, and even felt dyslexic at trying to learn how to read. It was difficult. I wanted to just immerse myself in the music. And I was one of those people who wanted to just shortcut. I don't want to learn how to play. I just want to play. So that's what I did. I taught myself how to play bass guitar. I took drum lessons. That's about it. And I played horns in school. But what I'm getting at here is that because I didn't study hard and I don't understand music theory, not really, my approach to music making is one of where I want to hear certain things, and I want to be able to create. Years ago, when MIDI technology first appeared, I think it was in the 80s, I said, this is what I've been wanting. It's the ability to create music one-handedly with a tool that will summon all the different sounds that you need. It was a long time before I got MIDI on my computer, and partially because my focus has been more as a lover and listener than someone who is really hardwired to focus on a profession and collecting equipment. I would buy records rather than buy equipment. Okay, so what I'm saying is when I finally got a hold of the ability to compose. That's the deal. When I had guitars, bass, and the drum machine and the keyboard, I did my best, and I have those records where I was composing like that. But when the MIDI gave me the option of creating orchestral sounds, etc., it increased the palette. Mostly, my inspiration comes in different ways. Okay, mostly it comes from sitting down and playing and looking for either a phrase or a sound or something to spark something to happen. I work like that a lot. I work with rhythm a lot, where it's like we'll just try to get a beat. I do have songs and pieces where I was inspired by other pieces of music. You know, inspirations as diverse as Miles Davis and Depeche Mode and Wire and all kinds of, can't even think of the different things that just make me want to make a piece of music like it. Has it changed? Has my inspiration changed over the years? I don't know that it's really changed as much as it's hopefully grown. And the other thing I'd like to say about using MIDI is that if I had the resources, like if I had the money and the availability of a studio and musicians, if I could afford to pay musicians to learn my music and play it the way I want it, I would do that. But I can't. And quite frankly, I'm very, very happy with the tonal range I get from MIDI. I know there's some folks who just, there was quite a bit of talk about it in the Rainbow thing, about the difference between how anybody can press a few buttons now and make sounds. This is true. But I can do both. I'm old school. I can play. So I'm real happy to be able to push buttons and make music. So that's where it's coming from. I make music that I need to hear. I do make music where I'm not hearing anyone else make it like this, and I'm feeling it like this. So I hope that answers your question. Looking here, I played some singles last night, but I put them away, but one that's still sitting out is this. Don't know who this person is. Chris Yates. Single called Parody of Me. And it's on the Les Disques Crépuscule out of Belgium. Cool label. Parody of Me backed with Days of Blue. And I really found myself getting into this. I really liked this. Played it like 3 times in a row. Chris Yates, Parody of Me. I should look up and see what this person's background is. I think that I picked this single up probably cheaply because of the fact that it's on the Crepuscule label. But it's a good, both songs are good. Both songs are good. That's what I'd like to share this morning, folks. And hello, Stephanie. Hello, family. Hello, friends. Thank you, people, for being with me, and thank you for being decent lately. Hello, Mr. Mike Saba. Hello, Finland Octave Doctor. Frank Barris. Bruce. Ver Turnbull. Interesting name, sir. Hello, everyone. Thank you. I love that I've had to only minimally delete comments recently. And it seems more obvious to me that the negative stuff is bots or people who are paid to create chaos. Man, I just don't understand. I do understand why. Because someone gains from it. How sad. How sad. Well, anyway, take care. Do well, whatever time of day it is, and let me know what's going on with you.